Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the TFC Roundtable. I'm super excited today. We have a very special guest from the local soccer community, a TFC2 player and local soccer icon, Mr. Jordan Peruzza. Jordan, welcome to the show, buddy. I'm here with Mario Pileggi, my co-host. I'm excited to have you on. How you doing?
I'm good. How's it going?
What's going on, Peruzza? Thanks for joining the show, man. We were really excited to hear that you wanted to be on.
So, Jordan, we're super excited, like we said. We've been wanting to speak to you for a while now. Actually, from the time that we met up a couple of months back when I did a presentation for a bunch of you guys, and we met. I actually know your dad from way back because he's been involved in the local soccer scene as you have been. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you came to TFC2. So where did you start playing? Are you from Toronto or Vaughan?
I'm born in Richmond Hill, grew up in Woodbridge. I played for Vaughan as a youngster, and I moved over to Woodbridge, and then back to Vaughan before joining TFC.
Okay, so you did the tour of duty here. Everybody does the Vaughan-Woodbridge mix.
That's amazing.
Two great clubs, a lot of good people in both clubs. In Woodbridge, you had Peter Pinizzotto, you had Marco Ciampa. Now they've got a bunch of former TFC guys, Marco Retta, and so forth and so on. And in Vaughan, you got another bunch of great guys, Carmen and Sacco, and the rest of the guys from Vaughan. A great place to sort of hone your craft as a local young player. Because, as we know, Canada's number one sport may not be soccer, but it's the number one played amateur recreation sport in Canada. More than hockey, more than baseball, more than football or any other sport. And you happen to play in the hotbed of soccer, which is York Region, playing for Woodbridge and Vaughan. Would you say that experience as a youngster playing soccer here in York Region helped you make it to the pros?
Of course it did. A lot of great coaches over the years, and a lot of great memories as a kid. Obviously, it gets better and better as you move over.
Who would you say some of your coaches and mentors were as a kid that helped you get to this next level?
I had a big help from Marco Ciampa in Woodbridge and Vince Calabria over in Vaughan.
Good. Two great coaches. Obviously, Marco Ciampa, who I know really well, and who's technical director over in Aurora. Developing kids, really passionate about the game, and has helped out countless young soccer players. So it's great to come from those clubs, because those are coaches who really care about not only the game but about the kids and development. And that's the key to the success that we've been having with a lot of these young Italian Canadian soccer players like yourself. You eventually made your whole career to Europe as well. You played in Empoli, right?
Yes, at the age of 13, I moved over to Italy.
Wow, so tell us a little bit about that and that experience, being 13 years old, going over to play in Empoli in Italy.
It was a big sacrifice moving. My family had a big, it helped a lot over the years, and it was just unlucky how it ended up at the end with technical director and everything. But a good experience probably overall playing in Italy. A great experience. Just learned everything I know about the game.
You think
what
that
the biggest difference? Yeah, go ahead, Mario.
No. Thank God you said it. Like, we just want to know more or less, like, what do you think was the biggest difference between the training that took place in Italy as opposed to what training you're receiving here now in the Canadian culture?
I just think the biggest difference is, as Tony said, just soccer being their first sport over there, and over here we have hockey as our first. It's just they live and breathe soccer all day. So that's just the biggest difference.
In terms of the training regimen, is it similar?
It's similar.
Very similar.
Yeah.
But you bring a lot of that.
Yeah, you bring that Italian flair, obviously. I see one of your last goals that you posted on Instagram. You bring the Italian goal-scoring flair, which is really lacking a lot here in North America, but you bring that touch, that flair, that excitement. When you get the ball, you make it exciting, and you know you're going for the goal. And I think that's a quality you probably honed in Italy, because, there's been a history of great goal scorers. And, you remind me of a goal scorer who was awesome for Italy back in the 90s. I don't know if you know who Christian Vieri is. but you got the same build, and you got the power, you got the height, you got the goal-scoring ability, and you completely remind me of him. And you know what? I think you've got a big future, a bright future ahead of you. I've been watching your highlights, and I've seen the amazing goal you scored when we came to watch you a couple of weeks back.
Tony, he's killing it.
Yeah, you got an
killing it right now.
Shot, you got that killer instinct to score. You're a pure goal scorer. So I think you caught the attention of people like Bill Manning. He mentioned you on our podcast, and you caught the attention of a lot of people. And I think it's just a matter of time before you crack the first team if you keep playing the way you are.
Oh yeah, Tony, this is his year. Peruzza, listen, 8 goals this season and counting. 14 plus appearances, like this is the year to do it. And I believe, and I'm going to call it tonight, that if TFC keeps on going on, if the Team 1 keeps on going on a decline the way that it is right now, there is a no doubt in my mind that you will be brought up 150%. No choice. They'd be stupid not to.
Thank you.
Yeah, would you say your style of play comes from your experience playing in Italy?
Yes.
100%.
True in Italy, because obviously you got that killer instinct when it comes to scoring goals. What is it that they teach their forwards there, the Honda in Italy? What do they teach you, and how do they tell you to play?
They teach you always to be aggressive and don't take any chances for granted. I make most of my goals off of half chances. And
right.
Regular strikers wouldn't finish them off because they don't think they're easy chances, but those are the easier ones for me.
Yeah, and you're very aggressive in the attack. You take those defensemen, you completely catch them off guard, or you outpace them because you're big, you're strong, you're fast, you got a killer shot, and you know how to cut the play. So I give you kudos for that. And I'm sure that a lot of these USL teams have taken notice in your abilities. I think a lot of people in the TFC organization have obviously caught wind of what you've been doing in the USL, and I really see a bright future for you, especially if you stay dedicated and committed and keep playing the way you're playing. So I love your style of play, man. You're the Canadian Christian Vieri for me, and I want to watch you throughout your career, and I hope that you're going to crack to the starting 11 for TFC, and we get to watch you at BMO Stadium, because you really play an exciting type of soccer, and I credit that, I guess, to your not only your physical attributes, but to how you were reared in the soccer community here in Woodbridge and Bonn, and then obviously playing in Empoli in Italy. You also played for Canada under-20, right?
Yes.
So what would you say, how was your experience playing at the national level for the national team?
That was an amazing experience. I was the youngest guy on the team. I got called in 2 years ago.
And you got 1 goal, correct?
I scored on a nice free kick, yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
What is it about playing on the national team? Tell us a little bit about that experience. Like, once you play there, does it change your mindset?
Big time. You just have a whole different mindset going into it. You know that you have your whole country behind you. It's just different.
That's amazing. And you know what? We're looking forward to hopefully seeing you in 2026. That's the goal for Canada, right? Like, we got to represent. We got to represent well. We don't have much time. One of the questions that I did ask Luca was, we saw the Gold Cup with what happened with Canada losing to Haiti 3-2. What do you think the problem is with Canada, especially the men's game? Because the women have had a lot of success. But what is it with the men's game? Why don't we seem to achieve the same level of success that the women have had, or that other smaller countries have had? Like Costa Rica went to the last World Cup with 3 million people. We got 33 million, and we haven't been able to crack a World Cup since 1986. What is the problem, in your opinion?
I think it comes down to one thing: just underestimating opponents. We have the talent in the country. It's just we walk into these games against smaller countries and think that we're going to win no matter what.
So you don't think they have to train in Empoli, right, Peruzza? You think they don't need? You don't think they need an Italian coach or Italian training mentality to really crack it?
They need an Italian striker out there.
Yeah, you, exactly. It's going to be
you, for sure.
It's going to be you.
But I also believe, and it's not a shot at the coaching in Canada. When I say the coaching in Canada, I don't mean our homegrown coaches, because I think we got amazing coaches. Like, we had Peter Pinizzotto, who coached with the Montreal Impact. We have Carmen Nsako, who's coaching with the York 9 now. But these guys are high-level coaches that have never been given the opportunity to coach at the national level. And I often wonder why that is. Why do we go and hire coaches from overseas and not give our own homegrown talent a shot. I'm not giving John Herdman a shot by saying, hey, you know what, he's not qualified. But at the end of the day,
he's very qualified. He is.
We bring in a guy from England. When we got amazing talent right here, our homegrown coaches, but they're not given a shot. Why is that?
I think John's a great coach. It's just, I think it just comes down to knowledge of the game. Maybe just the experience that he has. Maybe they don't think that Canadian coaches might be suitable for the job. But I don't know. It's just.
Do you think Canadian coaches are suitable for the job? You've had quality Canadian coaches. You think we got the right guys in this country?
Of course we do.
Coach?
We're just going to keep on growing as a country now. Of course we do.
How do you think we're going to do in 2026?
I think with the team of young players that we're getting together now, we're going to have a good team.
Amazing, especially if we can get you on that team. By 2026, you should be 25 years old?
I'll be 25.
Yeah, you'll be right. That's going to be your prime.
You're going to be in the prime of your career, man, smashing goals, and that's what I hope to see.
So, Peruzza, you think this is, in your opinion, you think that this is your year? You have that eye of the tiger mentality right now in your head that you're going for it, more than any other year?
I've been consistent this year with my goal scoring, and I have full trust in the coaching staff. So whenever they think I'm ready to get pushed up, that'll be my time. But
you think you're ready? You think you're ready now?
As of now, I would say I'm almost ready. I got to prove a little more. I'm not there yet.
I really appreciate the humility and the honesty, and I can tell you, there's not a lot of guys that will be as humble as you have been just in that statement. So good for you, and and I really do attest that to how the academy treats everybody as a family, and how you guys all work towards the same goal of winning championships for the club and making sure that you guys could all be a part of the journey. Because I was very fortunate to have gone through a private tour of how you guys train and perform and get together and eat together and speak together, starting right from the top. And I was with Bill Manning not too long ago, and he just walked me through the entire process from head to toe, and I couldn't be more impressed. And the fact that you're interacting with the club president, you're interacting with the GM, you're eating with Team One coaches, training staff, you're in those facilities. So that must mean something to you and reassuring to you and others like your buddy Luca over there, to make sure that you guys have a future with Team One.
Of course, it all starts every morning just at breakfast. The whole team sits down together. We eat breakfast before we go out to train. We're just a big family, and we all want to make each other better.
That's amazing.
Listen, talking about family, Jordan, just to add to what Mario said, sometimes family doesn't get the recognition, and just because I do know your dad, I got to give credit to your family, because I think one of the reasons why you've achieved the success is due to your father and mother, I'm sure, because you've got a solid foundation at home. The upbringing that you had obviously was the foundation was phenomenal. Your dad has obviously supported your soccer ambitions your entire life, supported you going to Empoli, still supports you today with TFC2. And I think family's a big deal, especially Italian families. And
huge,
not to knock other cultures, but I think the Italian family unit is super strong, and you see that in your father and the love that he has for you and the love he has for the game and how he supports you in your dream. I don't think you find that in every culture, but I do believe that that's inherent in the Italian culture. So kudos to your mom and dad. They did an amazing job of raising a mature guy, because you're a young guy, but you're I would think you were 25 in your mannerisms, the way you behave and the way you speak. So kudos to your parents, man.
I was just having a conversation with Bill this morning about that, about my age. I'm only 18, but I owe everything to my parents. They made the biggest sacrifices of their life for me.
That's amazing to hear. That's phenomenal.
Let me ask you something. There's so many young guys looking up to players like yourself and others that really want to have a chance at cracking that team, but they're 8, 9, 10 years old, 12 years old, joining the academy, starting up. What do you think they need to do to be as successful as you have been? What's that thing that they need?
I think that if you're just doing everything that your teammates are doing, you're never going to get ahead. You just got to work after training by yourself.
And what do you got to do? What do you got to do? What type of training do they need to do? What's something
make
that
sure you're
breeds
stronger.
success?
You got to know how to shoot from every angle, dribble at speed, shoot at speed, and just make sure you're stronger. Your fitness has to be up so you can last 90 minutes. Make sure your passes are clean, every touch is clean, and that's how you're going to get ahead.
And yeah, for sure. And you know what? I think if you go back to some older players like Maradona or David Beckham, they always said you had to put in extra training. When everyone else gets off the field, you have to give it that extra, 500 shots on net to really master your skill. I don't know if you ever heard of this author. His name's Malcolm Gladwell, but he's got this 10,000 hour rule. To really master something, you got to practice it for 10,000 hours, right? And
crazy.
It takes time. It takes time to really master something. But like you said, if you don't put in that extra time, you're never going to get there, right?
You're just going to be at the same level.
You got it. It's about going above and beyond, for sure. And that's exactly the attitude that you approach the game with, which is something that I really love.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you got natural talent, man. I think a lot of people are born with natural talent.
It's not good enough.
Yeah, it only takes you so far. Are you willing to go that extra mile? Are you willing to go above and beyond? And to me, you absolutely have that. It's like when we first started talking tonight, I said, hey, man, it's Friday night. You're 19 years old. Why aren't you out with your buddies? Because you are committed to your craft and the game of soccer. You're at home because it's time to rest because you had training today, you got training tomorrow, and you are committed to it 110%. And you know what? Most 19-year-olds don't have the maturity to have the drive and vision and focus to do that. So, again, kudos to you for being that way and having that attitude.
And Jordy, you're still in school while you're doing this too, right?
I just finished grade 12. I just graduated.
So,
wow.
That like you got to understand that you're playing professional soccer and still being a student. Like the true definition of student athlete. And it's not like you're stopping here. There's no chance in hell that your family would ever let you stop here.
No, they wouldn't let me do that.
So what's the next step for Jordan Peruzza?
I'm just going to be taking as many classes as I can at Humber College. I'm going to be going.
That's amazing. That's fantastic, and that's a good.
What are you taking at Humber?
Business.
Good for you, man. That's amazing. Yeah, that's difficult to juggle because you know what? Most guys can't juggle both. You're a professional soccer player. You're still taking classes. You're attending Humber. You're taking business. That's difficult to do, especially for a 19-year-old. And I got to give you kudos again for that. But I definitely think it comes from your family. You must have got this work ethic from someone. Who was your role model growing up? Was it your dad?
It's my normal.
Oh, that's amazing. Tell us a little bit about him.
That's a great story.
He came over to Canada at 17 and started his own business with my father and my father's brother, Zio, and started everything that we live off of.
That's incredible. So a real immigrant story. They came here basically like all the other Italian immigrants with a suitcase, and from the ground up, they made a life for themselves and for their kids and family. Incredible.
The true entrepreneur. That's such a beautiful story. So why don't we just stick with this for a second? What does it mean to you being an Italian-Canadian player for TFC2?
I think just being Italian, it just shows how much we care about family. We guys see any of our home games, every time I score, I go hug my parents.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I seen your dad after you scored the goal when we came to watch you over at BMO a couple of weeks back. Right after you scored the goal, the biggest fan in the crowd was your father, and I love seeing that because you could see what a fan he is of yours, and that display and that emotion. You can't bottle that, man. That's just incredible stuff.
Mm-hmm. And just to reiterate, I just wanted to say thank you for wanting to be on the show, and thank you for reaching out. It was a real honor to have you be with us, and I hope that you'll join us again. Can't wait to have my jersey of yours on and show off your last name with your number at the next game. You deserve all the success that's coming to you. I can't wait to see you kill it in Team 1, and you got a big future ahead of you, kid. So chin up, be a proud Italian Canadian, make us all proud, and make sure you always play for your family. So thanks for being on.
Thank you, guys. It's my pleasure.
Thanks, Jordan. Just the last thing I want to comment on at that game, my son, who plays forward like you, he's 10 years old. said, you know what, Dad, I want to score goals like him. So you're a role model for these young kids. Keep up the great work.
Absolutely.
Love your maturity and your head is on right, buddy. So keep up the fantastic job you're doing in Canadian soccer. I know we're going to see you on the big stage soon. Wish your dad well and your family well, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Take care.
Ciao. Ciao.
Bye-bye. Bye.